this old pooch. Absolutely exhausted from chasing this. G'day, you absolute legends. Stu from UAV Futures here, and I can already hear yourself. If you've been in FPV for a while, you've got two questions. Number one, Stuart, where are you getting those awesome shirts from? And two, is there a drone I can fly all the time, have some fun, and not upset the Karens out in the park? Well, you are in luck. These shirts, that's a trade secret. Check out my Patreon and I'll tell you where. And these drones here, we are looking at a sub 250. It's a little 2-inch absolute screamer. It's called the NanoFly. We're gonna be putting it through its paces, having some fun, looking at the text and the specs, and then the exciting part, showing you some flight footage, and we're gonna go for a bit of a drive, meet up with another pilot and get their impressions on this thing as well. And I gotta say, I think you guys are gonna be very surprised. Stu from the future here. It turns out, as I'm doing my editing, that was a lie. So the footage from Raven, it turns out it's probably on the SD card I lost with the VRX footage from Avatar that I reviewed a little while ago. So anyway, on with the review, but yeah, thanks for lying, Stu. Great. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, look at the overview, the text and the specs, I want to say there's two things important about this drone. Number one, check the link because it might be on special. It might even be cheaper than when I looked at this, but I'm not sure because I guess timing and editing and sick kids and all that sort of stuff if the special's still running. And number two, I actually did a mod on mine, and believe it or not, I made this thing worse. So yeah, you heard that right. I did a mod that impacted the performance on purpose, but hopefully you guys won't have to do that. All right, so as a bit of an overview, what it is, it's a little 2-inch prop with some a solid base plate made of 2mm carbon. We'll tear off our scales right here. It's on kilograms, so you know that's fantastic. We don't need to worry about that. And it is coming in, let's tear this. And this will be in shot. It is coming in at about 33 grams. I am flying mine around with a smaller battery, which we'll be talking about the mod in a second. So with my battery, it's about 45 grams, and this thing absolutely screams. You're probably gonna be getting like a 3-minute flight time, depending on how hard you're gonna be pushing it, and depending what sort of battery you've got as well. I would say you might even get up to like a 5-minute flight time if you had a bigger battery and you weren't absolutely screaming it. It really depends on your flight style. And that's the beauty about this thing. You can have some fun, you can do some cruising, you can chill, you can do some acrobatics. I don't know if you could do racing, I guess. It's not gonna be like that 100-mile-per-hour sort of drone. However, a couple of these together having a race would be an absolute blast. And probably my favorite thing about it, you don't need to go out and have a dedicated flying space. This thing, it's not intrusive, it's not ridiculously loud, it's not gonna upset the Karens in the park. I don't think too many people are gonna get upset about this. But with that out of the way, let's do it. Let's talk about the components very quickly. So of course, like I said, a solid 2mm carbon base plate. We have 1002 motors. I think they are 2100 kV right there. It runs on a 1S pack. It's got an F4 flight controller. I've got an analog version. It's got built-in LRS. It does come with these, and this is the mod that I did. So it comes with a vastly superior than what I put on here, the GMB27 adapter, which is just so much better for delivering current to your drones. You won't get any brownouts or anything like that. It's got a variable VTX. However, because I do not have any of those batteries that take that. The only batteries I've got to fly this thing are like my 450 and possibly some 550 sort of little 1S packs like this bad boy, which sort of go on the old Emax drones and those sorts of things. What are they called? Like the Tiny Hawks. That's what I have to fly mine around with. I wish I had more of these batteries. However, I just didn't. So if I wanted to put my stick time in on this, I had to change the connector. So I cut that off and put my old connectors on here so it was compatible. I would like to change that in the future. Here's a little shout out to my Patreon. Let's look at this camera right here. If you would like to support my Patreon, maybe we could buy some more of these batteries, please. Just an idea if you like this video. Anyway, so on the bench, the design of the thing, look, I think it's really good. It's not the lightest one that I've seen. I love how everything is compacted into this little board. The underneath, we've got the TPU sort of adapter. I think that's fine for holding the batteries. You're not going to break it in a crash or anything like that. It is okay quality. I don't have any issues or any problems that I've had with it. The one thing that I would say is I cranked my VTX up to like, I don't want to, how do I not get myself in trouble here? I mean, I saw someone else crank this VTX up to like 400 milliwatts on a 1S and give it a punch out and they got a brownout or a dropout. So maybe don't do that. But that also could be affected by this battery connector. But look, that's it on the bench. The price I'm gonna put on the screen, I think it's about $140 US. So whatever that, like Freedom units, whatever that is in your rupees and Australian dollars, I'll put some links on the screen for that as well. Check it down below, it's probably the easiest way to find out the price. But look, that's it, that's the text and the specs on the bench. Here's the fun part. We're gonna rip it around. You'll see, I've been flying this thing a lot. You'll see my kids chasing it. You'll see some other days my dog's chasing it. We're gonna be out in the field, cruising around, flying some fun with it. And also we're gonna hand it off to another pilot so we can get their impressions. Would they get it? What they like about it? All that sort of stuff. Because UAV Futures, it's all about giving you the right information to make the right choice, to get the right drone, to get you flying and having fun. So let's do it. Let's jump out to the field, have some fun. In 3, check out some other awesome shirts I'm wearing. In 3, 2, 1, boop!
Radio out here in the field. Let's rip it around with a little sub 250. We've got some birds going nuts as well. Show you some footage. We've got Raven in the park. We'll give him a burn as well. And yeah, have some fun. So let's do it. Jump to some footage in 3, 2, 1, boop!
Look and fly there, Stuart. Another fantastic shirt. If I don't say so myself, maybe even nano fly. God, Dad, that's such a bad dad joke. Anyway, my kids are probably cringing if they ever watch this when they're older. Let's get on with talking about the flight characteristics. You know what my least favorite thing about this flight experience is? I don't have those good batteries because it demands more. If I had that more current, I think you could make this thing absolutely scream around, except for me, I'm stuck on those old battery connectors with smaller batteries as well. So you can take the flight footage you see here and I don't know about double it, but I think you'll be getting more punch out, just more power, and it would just feel better. Who doesn't want more power? Anyway, the camera itself, I had no issues whatsoever. I thought it was pretty cool for a little drone cruising around. I could do some acrobatics here, hitting some tight little spots. I think in a moment I wanted to do like a front flip over myself, and I thought, that's probably not a good idea. We'll also jump over and you can see my dog chasing it out. We're doing a little bit more proximity flying, as well as some like longer flight lines and track flying as well around my property. And I don't have Raven's footage because, like I mentioned, that SD card has disappeared somewhere, and yes, it is frustrating. You think it's frustrating watching that? Imagine being the person editing that video, pumped to do it, and then you're like, where's my work? Where are those files? And they are completely gone. But yeah, all in all, I gotta say, I like the NanoFly. I think it's fun, it's a cool little drone, and you're not gonna upset people as well. Do I think it's perfect? You know what, this is the hard part because I need a better, it probably would be so much better flying this around with that other battery connector. There's the dog chasing it around. He absolutely loved it. He was completely wrecked by the end of it. But all in all, I've got to say, thumbs up. I thought it was a cool little drone. For a 2-inch, and look, it's a little bit bigger than some of the others out there, the 1.5 inches and stuff like that. But it's very easy to fly. Probably too big for indoors though. I'd definitely stick to some little outdoor places. Ooh, radio, so there it is. There's my review of the NanoFly. What do I think about it? 2 thumbs up. I really like it. I think it's a cool little drone. It's going to be a lot of fun. Even better if I put the barrel connectors on there. Sorry about that. That is some other batteries because I'm about to go rip this thing around some more, have some fun with it. But yeah, all in all, look, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. If you're after a drone you can just have some fun with, cruise around, it's not going to break the bank, you get decent performance with it, and it's also not going to upset the Karens of the world. A great little thing to throw in your backpack, the batteries are cheap, and hopefully, yeah, you won't have to do the mods that I did because you've got your own correct batteries. Subscribe for more FPV related content, for more awesome shirt wearing action. And if you'd like to check out my Patreon, look, let's get together, buy me a cup of coffee for as little as $2 a month, and maybe I might be able to get some more batteries so I don't have to do negative mods to mine. Anyway, that's it. That's the video. My final message for you guys out there, be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Why? Because you deserve it. And I really mean it. If you're watching this, You are awesome. Anyway, happy flying.